requirement something that must be done because of a law or rule? Yeah. Something legally imposed, called for, or demanded, an imperative command. Yeah. Building requirements specified in the Americans with Disabilities Act. Yeah. Something that someone needs to ask for. The new telephone system meets all our requirements. Something such as good test results. That an employer, university, etc., sets as a necessary qualification, a requisite or essential condition, the act of establishing something as a need or necessity, a demand, the requirement by management that no children under 10 be allowed at our workplace. Yes. Now, complying with the actual requirements of law. Since my wife never well, you in your discretion, have taken what was the requirements of state law, yes, where you have to give somebody notice and opportunity, yes, and you use forgery and fraud to issue court order. Then multiple times you had me arrested, and then you used restoration laws to attempt to have me admitted for indefinite detention and the inhumane treatment of the use of psychotropic medication because of your refusal to admit the evidence of me being exonerated. Yes. Now, it's an actual war crime, pooh, and it's inhumane, yes, and it's documented, pooh, and that means every oath of office right now. It's another Nuremberg. Now, I've asked you to enforce the requirements of the laws. I said I wanted custody of my sons, yes. I said I wanted mandatory restitution, yes. And you stifled the prosecution of those that need to be prosecuted because you didn't want to pay me. Pooh. See, your family thinks as long as you get paid, yes. The, well, it's a war crime. Your economy, the Ponzi scheme of you do what I say when I pay, yes. See, there's a big problem with this way of doing things. Now, I put this in blue. The National Socialist coup was made possible because the terms of the Hitler-Hindenburg Decree departed from all previous ones in which the power of suspension had been invoked. Yes. Whenever Ebert had suspended constitutional guarantees, yes, the constitutional guarantees of due process, constitutional guarantees of the equal protections of the law, the constitutional guarantees that you have refused to acknowledge as actual guarantees. There is a guarantee, yes, that you have to prosecute somebody, yes, for violating the civil rights of citizens. Yes, there's a constitutional guarantee that you have to prosecute for having children in the wrong grades. There is the constitutional guarantees of prosecution. Now, this is a violation of my rights as a citizen. Right, right. The 27 days I was in jail? Yes. Serving me this while I was in jail? Yes. For failure to appear? Oh, oh. This is a fraudulent statement. Yes. The restrained person did not have actual notice and an opportunity to be heard. That happens to violate Brent constitutional guarantees of due process, equal protections of the law, privileges and immunities. Yes. And you've targeted me of individual rights. He had suspended constitutional guarantees of individual rights. His decree had expressly revived the Protected Custody Act adopted by the Reichstag in 1916 during the previous war. Now, this act had guaranteed a judicial hearing within 24 hours of arrest. Yes. Gave a right to have counsel and to inspect all relevant records. Provided for appeal, which authorized compensation from the Treasury funds for erroneous arrests. The Treasury funds. Now, since you refuse to enforce the constitutional guarantees of this state, every state in the United States, How does this crime differ from the war crimes of the Nuremberg trials? Let's see. Here's what you want to say. Yeah. No contact until there's a mental health evaluation. Yeah. Of respondent and treatment if recommended. The court will review upon motion of respondent. That's what you want to say, Brent. That's what you said for 8 years. For 8 years. You said that you as a court, yes, would review as long as I had a mental health evaluation. I said my record was expunged in 2012. I said that I was arrested when I was not violating the restraint provisions. I said that my United Nations marriage certificate. I said I did not get any notice or opportunity to be heard during any of the court hearings where you gave my wife a dissolution of marriage. I said that you never protected my due process rights. See, it looks to me, yes, that you've actually violated the Constitution. Now, you're going to have to authorize me to get some compensation from the United States Treasury? Yes. And the thought is we should have war crime tribunals, yes, for those that are accomplices, for every state legislature right now. You don't understand, Judge, yes, your disbelief of what you've done. I do believe that I can do this. I think that I can obligate the United States of America. I can make them do it. I can make them.